tonight on that sex abuse documents that were released by the Milwaukee Archdiocese earlier this week.
One of the themes that emerged that we noticed, the abusers were largely left off the hook by both church authorities and civil legal authorities. Part of the reason for that is so many of the young victims were afraid to speak up about the crimes until decades after they occurred. The current state law requires abuse victims to bring civil cases before they turn 35 years old. But a bill authored by Milwaukee Representative Lena Taylor would provide a 2-year window that would allow abuse victims to file lawsuits.
You know, as a victim myself, I know that sometimes it doesn't even come to your remembrance sometimes that you've had something that's happened to you, because you sometimes put it behind you in the backs of your mind. And so the clock shouldn't be ticking when you're a child and you've been victimized.
We'll have to look at that. We all want our children to be protected. The issue is justice and due process, so we'll be glad to look at that.
The Archdiocese reportedly says it will oppose any attempts to change the statute of limitations.
And this idea, though, of changing the statute of limitations is really welcome news for victims of that scandal.
All the victims' names were blacked out of the files to protect their identities, but now one victim is coming forward to share his story in hopes that other abuse victims will see that they're not alone. Mike Lowe is here to explain.
Sitting in the shadow of the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist,
these files are showing people that they were not misled, they were directly lied to.
John Pillmeyer says the secret, sordid history of abuse in the Catholic Church is finally coming out of the shadows.
One of the things survivors try to do is find out why this happened to them, what circumstances led up to their abuse, what church officials knew about it, and what they did or didn't do.
And Pillmeyer is ready to tell his story.
I was a second-grade student at St. John Vianney Grade School in Brookfield.
It was 1977. He was 8 years old. Associate Pastor David Hanser came to his class.
Father David Hanser came to the door, knocked on it, and asked for volunteers if anyone would like to help him with some kind of special project. And of course all the kids raised their hands, and unfortunately he picked mine.
There was no special project.
He took me to the rectory and he pulled my pants down and fondled me.
The experience was shattering. His years of innocence gave way to years of anxiety.
Shortly after that, I developed a severe stuttering problem that lasted with me through high school. A lot of relationship issues, depression. And it's very common for survivors to experience those things.
Pillmeyer says he has no interest in reading all of the horrific details in the 6,000 pages of documents, but he did read the case file of his abuser. It shows Father Hanser preyed on nearly 20 boys, cases documented by the Archdiocese over the course of decades, beginning in 1968, 3 years before Pillmeyer was even born. Even though church officials knew Hanser was a predator, they moved him to 7 different parishes.
They actually enabled it by allowing predators to simply go from one parish to the next, one school to the next, and not letting the new people know you've got a dangerous person in your midst.
This is a new day for the Archdiocese and for the church here in southeastern Wisconsin.
Archbishop Jerome Listecki, who is viewed as part of the solution to the crisis, says the Catholic Church has moved aggressively to root out criminals from the priesthood.
I can say, as a bishop, there is no one in active ministry today who has a substantiated, credible accusation against them.
But Hanser will never face justice, and that's why Pillmeyer says the laws should be changed to protect victims, not predators.
Absolutely, he should be behind bars. He's living a comfortable life out in Waukesha County. You know, he was able to elude justice because of the statute of limitations, and that's something that I think these documents also should really prompt parents to think about, is that our statute of limitations need to be reformed, and the limitations for child sexual abuse need to be abolished, because children can't be required to, we can't put it on the kids. It has to be, the adults have to correct this and make sure that the courthouse doors are open for them.
Father Hanser retired in 2002 with a pension and health benefits from the Archdiocese. In 2004, then Milwaukee Archbishop Timothy Dolan wrote to the Vatican requesting Hanser's removal from the priesthood. He was eventually defrocked and removed. Back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you. No way to